I will describe about nutrition in human beings. Nutrition in human beings. The nutrition in human beings take place through human digestive system. The human digestive system consists of alimentary canal and its associated glands. The various organs of the human digestive system in sequence are mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine and large intestine. The glands which are associated with the human digestive system and form a part of the human digestive system are salivary glands, liver and pancreas. The human alimentary canal which run from mouth to anus is about 9 meters long tube. So, we will now describe the various steps of nutrition in human beings. First of all, ingestion. The process of taking food into the body is called ingestion. And second one, digestion. Digestion in human beings, the digestion of food being in the mouth itself. The digestion of food start as soon as we put food in our mouth. The happens is allow the mouth cavity or buccal cavity contain teeth, tongue and salivary glands. The teeth cut the food into small pieces, chew and grind it. So the teeth help in physical digestion glands. The teeth cut the food into small pieces, chew and grind it. The salivary glands in our mouth produce saliva. Our tongue help in mixing this saliva with food. Saliva in a watery liquid, so it is with the food in our mouth. The wetted food can be swallowed more easily. Many times we have absorbed that when we see our eat a food which we really like or mouth water. This watering of mouth is due to the production of saliva by the salivary glands in the mouth. The salivary glands help in chemical digestion by secreting enzyme. The human saliva contains an enzyme called salivary amylase. It digests the starch present in food into sugar. Thus, the digestion of a starch carbohydrate being in the mouth itself. Since the food remains in the mouth only for a short time, so the digestion of food remains incomplete in mouth. The slightly digested food in the mouth is swallowed by the tongue and goes down the food pipe called esophagus. The esophagus carries food to the stomach. This happens as follows. The wall of the food pipe have muscles which can contract and expand alternately. When the slightly digested food enters the food pipe, the walls of the food pipe start construction and expansion movement. The construction and expansion movement of the walls of food pipe is called peristaltic movement. The peristaltic movement of food pipe pushes the slightly digested food into the stomach. In fact, the peristaltic movement In fact, the peristaltic movement moves the food in the digestive organ through the alimentary canal. The stomach is a J-shaped organ present on the left side of the abdomen. The food is further digested in the stomach. The food is churned in the stomach for about 3 hours. During this time, the blood breaks down into still smaller pieces and form a semi-solid paste. The stomach wall contains 3 tubular glands in its wall. The glands present in the wall of the stomach secrete gastric juice. The gastric juice contains 3 substances: hydrochloric acid, the enzyme pepsin, and mucus. Due to the presence of hydrochloric acid, the gastric juice is acidic in nature. In the acidic medium, the enzyme pepsin begin the digestion of protein present in food to form smaller molecules. Thus, the protein digest begin in the stomach. The main points are the protein digesting enzyme pepsin is active only in the presence of an acid. So the function of hydrochloric acid in the stomach is to make the medium of gastric juice acidic so that the enzyme pepsin can digest the protein properly. Another function of the hydrochloric acid is that it kills any bacteria which may enter the stomach with food. The mucus helps to protect the stomach wall from its own secretion of hydrochloric acid. If mucus is not secrete, hydrochloric acid will cause the erosion of inner lining of the stomach, leading to the formation of ulcer in the stomach. The partially digested food then goes from stomach into the small intestine. This exit of the food from the stomach is regulated by a sphincter muscle, which releases in a small amount into the small intestine. The small intestine from the stomach, the partially digested food enters the small intestine. The small intestine is the largest part of the alimentary canal. It is about 6.5 meters long in an adult woman. Through the small intestine is a very long. It is called small intestine because it is very narrow. The small intestine is arranged in the form of coil in our belly. The main point, the length of the small intestine different in various animals depending on the type of food they eat. For example, cellulose is a carbohydrate food which is digested with difficulty. So, the herbivorous animal like cow which eat grass need a longer small intestine. Digested food with difficulty, so the herbivorous animal like cow which eat grass need a longer small intestine. To allow the cellulose present in grass to be digested completely. On the other hand, meat is a food when too easier to digest, so the carnivorous animal like tiger which eat meat have a shorter small intestine. The small intestine receives the secretion of two glands, liver and pancreas. Liver and pancreas. Liver secretes bile. Bile is greenish yellow liquid made in the liver, which is normally stored in the gallbladder. Bile is alkaline and contains salt, which help to emulsify or break the fats present in the food. Thus, bile performs two functions: make the acidic food coming from the stomach alkaline, so that pancreatic enzyme can act on it, and bile salt break the fats present in the food into a small globule, making it easy for enzyme to act and digest them. Pancreas is a large gland which lies parallel to and beneath the stomach. Pancreas secretes pancreatic juice which contain digestive enzymes like pancreatic amylase, trypsin, and lipase. The enzyme amylase break down the stomach. The third point of nutrition in human beings are absorption. After digestion, the molecules of food become so small that they can pass through the wall of a small intestine and go into the blood. This is called absorption. The small intestine is the main reason of the absorption of digested food. In fact, the small intestine is in special adapt for absorbing the digested food. The inner surface of a small intestine has billions of little fingers like projection called villi. The presence of villi gives the inner walls of the small intestine a very large surface area, and the large surface area of a small intestine help in the rapid absorption of digested food. The digested food which is absorbed through the walls of the small intestine goes into our blood. Fourth point, assimilation. The blood carries digested and dissolved food to all parts of the body where it becomes assimilated as part of the cell. The assimilated food is used by the body cell for obtaining energy as well as growth and repair of the body. The energy is released by the oxidation of assimilated food in the cell during respiration. The digested food which is not used by our body immediately is stored in the liver and the form of carbohydrate called glycogen. And the last and fifth point are ingestion. The part of the food which we eat cannot be digested by our body. This undigested food cannot be absorbed in the small intestine. So the undigested food passes from a small intestine into a wider tube called large intestine. It is called large intestine because it is a quite wide tube. The small of large intestine absorb most of the water from undigested food. Due to this, undigested food part from food become almost solid. The last part of the large intestine called rectum stored the undigested food for some time, and when we go to the toilet then this undigested food is passed out from our body through anus and feces or stool. The act of explaining or feces is called ingestion or defecation.